Need a couple minutes?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, actually, I guess I need a couple. Insert everything in the Sloan one. Okay, so Glenn Beck. Don't play that, right?
Yeah, no, not this time.
Kennedy. Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. That's exactly what it is. The Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake coming up here in just a couple of seconds. In the meantime, let me give you some contact information because Blake is somebody that everybody wants to get in touch with. You know what? It's actually easy. Call him today at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll give you all that contact info again in just a second. You'll need it, you'll want it, but right now what you want is 30 minutes with Blake Sloan. Hey, Blake.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Got an awesome show. Ton of great stuff we'll talk about. We're going to dig into the micro market numbers for anyone that has not heard them lately. Obviously, this is the first time we just got them in, hot off the presses. So we're going to dig into like what's your zip code doing, what's your neighborhood doing. That's what I get the most feedback on. So we'll dig in that and see how we're performing overall. And it's been interesting all over the place, actually, depending on what area you're in. Some are seeing some very significant increases. Some are seeing some decreases. So we'll talk about how your area stacks up as well. Also, I would look into some key findings from the 2019 Home Buyers Report. It's a national home buyer report from NerdWallet. Everybody's heard of that before, but it has some interesting data in regards to demographics, who's buying, how they're buying, some of their challenges, and so it helps us really use that data to advise our clients. And so we'll dig into that so you can kind of see how that may apply to you, and really some interesting just overall real estate stuff that I found and that I would like to share with you all as well. We mentioned last week, part of that report was actually where 60% of buyers were wrong about the down payment they needed to buy a home. And so some interesting numbers there. We'll dig in there as well. Also, we have some amazing success stories, some super cool ones this week about helping people move out west. And also, again, just a kind of reminder, we have an investment fund that I'm working with that's looking to buy houses just as is quickly. You don't got to put it on the market. You don't have to fix it up. You don't got to deal with people tracking through your house. And so we'll talk about that where I can easily help you if that's an option you'd like to talk about as well.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to, and everybody loves those micro markets. So we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. If you're just tuning in for the very first time and don't know who this guy is, who is this Blake Sloan guy? Well, he's been called here the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in all sorts of magazines and national publications like Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Realtor Magazine as well. You've seen him on TV with NBC, with Fox and Friends. Personal endorsements you hear on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LeVox, and others. It is unprecedented in the world of real estate. Now, also, Blake has some trademark systems that he helps with buyers and sellers. He will be able to tell you what those trademark systems are, but only if you get involved with him. But he will give you a little taste of what some of the most important parts of that is.
Yes, and again, this is my calling. This is kind of why we do this show. This is really what I feel that my overall, contribution to the marketplace is really how we do business. And it really came to one of the biggest challenges we found in the real estate business. And it comes down to one thing, right? The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period. And so everyone makes this huge mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same. It could not be further from the truth, right? They think they're a commodity, but in reality, it's not. It's all about how they execute these certain variables. And so those variables, what those are is, in your selling a house, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. How do we know that? Because we tracked them and we actually took time to figure out what has to happen from A to Z. Most agents have no clue, right? They're just going by the seat of their pants, flying by doing the three Ps. One, they promise the world to get listing. 2, they put it into the MLS, and 3, they just pray someone brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street hunting down the next listing. And so what we did, we figured out, like, how can we manage all those variables in the same way, the same exact order, to get a predictable result at the end. And that's kind of just overall the freestyle of it. And so we created this system, reverse engineered every single variable point, and create maximum leverage every single point. And so at the end, it's like stacking the dominoes. And what it does is it creates a massive gap between us and everyone else. It's called the guaranteed sold system. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods, and it works. It's something that when we sit down with anyone that's willing to call, it actually picks up the phone, it blows their mind, right? And we even have people who listen to the show for 2, 3 years. Will call a friend, who knows why the hell they do that, but they call a friend, all of a sudden they get a horror story, and they finally call us, and we sit down with them, and they about fall off the chair. Because the levels of technology and systems, I have 6 figures built out into a technology platform that helps us manage our relationship with our clients. And so that's just over the years to make sure that everything happens the same way. And I can track who did it. And if they didn't do it, we know who screwed it up. So guess what doesn't happen next time? They don't miss that, right? And so we have this saying that we live by, that systems work, people don't sometimes. And so we create a system, like I mentioned, the guaranteed sold system works very, very well, but that's what helps sell homes that much faster and for more money. We gave the example. I think the best way to look at it is we create small gaps over a long period of time. And so if someone takes off in a marathon, right, you hear the gunshot, everyone starts running. But what happens at the end is some people finish 3 and 4 hours ahead of other people. And so that's what we do with your home sale. My goal is to get like the guy recently. What's the guy that his name's Kip something from I think Kenya or something. He just ran that race in Germany last week.
Yeah.
He ran a sub 2 hour marathon, which is sub 5-minute miles, which is like a full on sprint, right? For 26 whatever miles, which is unreal. And that's the same thing that we try to do on the home sale, right? And so the average agent look at it, a lot of times they're just walking, hopefully they can survive to the 26.2 miles. With us, it's about how do we sprint through that and create this marathon of your home sale, and we turn that into a sprint. We do that through intensity, through technology, and through leveraging a lot of money on the upfront to get that leverage for you. And so that's for home sales out there. Just call if you're curious. It will absolutely blow your mind. On the flip side of that, there's the opposite side of the transaction, which is buyers, right? If you're buying a house, there's 100 plus different variables that each part of that process, if they're handled correctly by the agent, guess what? That puts money in your pocket and you get the property you want. If that agent mishandles any of those variables that cost you money, aka obviously your equity, or you do not get the house you want, we hear that the most, right? Most of the worst on the buyer side is that they missed out, they didn't get the property, or it cost them extra. And so we reverse engineered all the variables from that side. That's called the unfair advantage home buying system. Each property access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation on purchase price, and also the absolute best negotiation on home inspection through the back end. And so those are big items that make a big difference, but they're designed to do one single thing. That thing is they give our client the ultimate competitive advantage when they're buying or selling. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, give me a call, 843-808-SOLD. It'll actually blow your mind for sure.
All right, a lot of great stuff still coming up. As Blake said, we're going to be telling you what the market is looking like, not just the overall market, your zip code. We'll find out what's going on as far as buying and selling in your zip code. That's coming up in just a minute. And also some of the most important numbers you're going to be here all weekend. Mortgage rates, what are they looking like right now? We'll tell you right now what they're looking like. That's all coming up in just a second. Call Blake at his office at 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this. Hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Call Blake today at his office, Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com. Coming up in just a minute, we'll find out what's going on in your market. I mean, really, your market. We'll go zip code by zip code to the micro markets. Right now, though, let's find out what's going on. I'll tell you what, we'll do the interest rates coming up in a second. Let's find out what's going on in your market right now.
So like right now, it's very interesting number-wise, because remember, just a recap for anyone, last year, the same exact previous month, we had this incident, right? Hurricane, what was that, Florence, right? Florence, that came through, that massive problems. And so we missed an entire month just about of properties being able to close or go under contract. But a lot of that was what weeks prep for the hurricane, a few days for the hurricane, then we had a little in between, then we had flooding, we had lead up to the flooding, and long story short, I don't think you could get to the courthouse at that time, right? Because the water, I mean, it was something crazy. Either way, it hurt the numbers. So if you look at the overall first month numbers right now, it shows a 64.7% increase, which is obviously not accurate. The reason it does that because a lot of the ones last year were pushed into the next month. So what I'm going to do to give you a quick recap, I'm going to do the 6-month rolling average. Much better, a little more accurate, and it's very, very similar to how it's been trending. A quick overall general market overview, the entire Grand Strand for anyone that missed it last week. Right now, the 6-month rolling average for single-family resale homes. That's what pretty much most of us own and live in, and that's kind of what I feel is the driver of the marketplace, simply because that's just what most of the sales are, right? And so single-family resales up 8.2% in the last 6 months, which is awesome. Because remember a little while back we were seeing some softening, where there was actually 2 months that was slight negative, then it was flat, but overall we've seen the past 3 months kind of trend up very well. Prices actually right now for single-family resale up 5%, which is awesome. The median price right now is $231,000 even, which is pretty cool. If you look back just to March of 2017, it was $195,000. So there's a lot of extra equity in people's pockets they may not even know they even have. And so that's a very, very nice jump, almost $40,000 there in equity just since March 2017. The one key number, too, we've been watching lately is just inventory. Inventory has been very, very, very low. Like right now, last month, inventory is at 5.1 months. And I just talked about this last week, but it's huge. This is the most important number I see in this month's numbers. Is inventory. Again, a recap, anything below 6 months is a seller's market, meaning that the seller has the advantage just because there's less availability out there for that case. And so there's only been 3 times since 2016 we've been tracking this that it's been at or below 5.1 months. This past month is the 3rd time.
Okay.
So basically you're looking at pretty much a tie for the second lowest we've seen in 4 years. And ultimately, in that regard, because we're basically 3 years and 9 months, 3 years and 10 months. But January 2018 is the lowest it's ever been recorded at 4.9 months inventory. The second lowest was December 2018, and again and that was 5.1 months. Again, right now, 5.1 months. And so that's a huge opportunity for any home sellers out there because there's less competition, there's less availability out there, which means guess what? That increases the price per home, right? We all know it's supply and demand driven. If you have less supply, the same or more demand. In this case, we have more demand. That's going to put pressure on price, which means you can get a very favorable offer on your property, and it may not take as long to sell. And so that's really the key number that I saw overall in that aspect. The one thing that you're looking at, too, is important. I've been talking about an interesting number that we just started adding in. If you look at the average amount of showings each listing got, last month it was four showings, right? The problem with that, and that was actually a 46% increase from the month before overall. But if you look at the 6-month rolling average, it's about the same thing at 4.6 showings. But looking at how many showings it takes to go pending, it takes 13 showings to go pending on average. So you can see the gap there, right? Average house in the marketplace only has 4 people come in. Statistically, you need 13 to come in based on those numbers. And so you can see where the problem lies. Most people don't get enough traffic in their house for someone to look at it, to find it, to buy it. That's to do with the marketing problem. Also, in some cases, a pricing problem. But that's the type of data we use to give you the advantage as a home seller. But you always want to dig into that and kind of figure out what's going on. Quick recap, really quick for condos. The 6-month rolling average for condos up 4.2%, which is awesome. That's the amount of sales, obviously. Into sales price up 5.8%. So great news there. Median price 137,500. The cool part, look back to June 2016, it was at 112. And so great recovery we've seen here overall. And also in inventory, it's been super low there. It's 5 months of inventory for condos, which is very low. One of the lowest that we've seen it since that 2016 tracking time as well. So that's important, right? This week, though, is all about the micro market. Everyone just want to fly through. Bear with me on this. Everyone wants to know, like, what's my zip code?
Sure.
And so this is something we do with all of our clients as well. We'll take it deeper than that, based to the micro market, which is your neighborhood. We have software that'll pull out anything out there, all the sales past 12 and 24 months, and it creates graphs and visuals so you can see, like, what's the run rate, how many are selling, how many days it take to sell. And so we use that data to our advantage when we create strategy for you. So I'm going to talk about the year-to-date micro market simply because the numbers are skewed because of the hurricane. Example, Myrtle Beach last month shows a month versus month, right? September versus September. So it's 2018 versus 2019. It shows an 83.1% increase in sales. We all know that's not the real number because there's houses that couldn't sell last year. So here's the cool part. We'll do year-to-date micro markets. And so for the 29577, 29572 zip codes, we're seeing 11.3% increase in new listings on there. We're seeing a 17.8% increase in sales. That's a key number I'm looking at here. A 17% increase in sales this year-to-date, which is awesome. Also, prices. Year-to-date, prices only up 0.5%. So it's kind of leveled out. It went from 315, 830 in January, or basically the same time in January 1 to now, up to 317, 535. So that's interesting there to look at. Closed sales for condos up 5.7%, which is great news there overall. Prices also up. The median price in Myrtle Beach up 4.9%, up from 119 to 125, 825, and so both homes and condos are performing very well there, which is great. Also into North Myrtle Beach, closed sales this year down 6.3% right now. Very similar though. If you look at last year, this time they were 478. Right now there's 448, and so the key number though that you're seeing drive this, and this has to do with inventory, you can tell, is prices. The price in North Myrtle Beach though is up 14.6%, so double-digit growth there, which is awesome. And within 300,000, even at 343,750. So that's a lot of extra equity that people are getting there to their bottom line, which is awesome. And so that's super cool there overall. There in Surfside, closed sales year to date up 3.9%, which is awesome. Went from 358, 372. Prices also up from 241,750 to 253,500. So it's a 4.9% increase in home prices in the Surfside Beach area. That's where I grew up. That's where my mom lives. Still in the house I grew up in, and so she's loving that one right now. She's listening and watching that one, which is interesting to see. Right now they're getting about 95.9% of asking price in Surfside for houses do sell, and it takes about 133 days on average to get a property sold in there. And so into Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet, they got great sales increase here, up 11.1% year to date, which is awesome, with 768 home sales. Prices also up 1.1%, went from 275 to 278, 644, and taking right now about 134 days on average for the properties that do actually sell. Here's another cool thing. Into Pawleys and Litchfield, check this out. Year to date, Pawleys is kicking butt. We sold a lot of big houses down there recently, and so that's one thing that you're seeing. They're up this year sales-wise 23.8%, and so great news there.
Big numbers.
Especially for an area that doesn't have a whole lot of inventory, right?
True.
So a lot of that area has been built out. They're not seeing as fast development just because that's just the culture and this land space, right? And so the other key part of that too is that price is also up 4%. So you have 23% increase in sales, a 4% increase in price. My prediction, you're going to see prices rise up pretty significantly just from a supply and demand base, knowing that price is always that lagging indicator. And so that's something interesting there. It does take a little longer to sell, about 164 days on market for the properties that do sell. And so that's something you want to be aware of. Our days on market are significantly faster than that. That's just the average, the ones that do sell. The one thing about the report, though, it doesn't take into account all the properties that do not sell. There's a while back, not too long ago, it was almost the high 40% didn't sell. I haven't pulled that lately this year, but it's very alarming for most people, realizing how many properties still in the market for 6 months don't sell and then get relisted with somebody else. So Conway's doing great year to date, Single-family home sales up 8.9%, which is awesome. Prices also up 7.1%. So it went from 169,950 up to 182,000, which is awesome news. And right now, average days on market for properties that do sell, 137 days of the ones that actually close. Into Aner, sales year to date dropped slightly, down 6.8%. Not a whole lot of, the numbers are always so small, it kind of cracks me up because like you'll see like for example, it went from 4 to 3 last month, right? So it shows a 25% decrease, but it's really only one house, right? So gotta be aware of that. The year to date though went from 44 to 41 this year. So far, Aner has 3 less home sales than the same time last year, which is a 6.8% decrease. The great number though is the ones that did sell sold for 12.9% higher. So if you're in the Aner area, you got a 12% overall average increase in your equity, which is awesome there, from 212,000 to 240, and that's awesome there. I mean, that's growing up here. I mean, it's cool to see Aner median price at 240,000. I mean, that's something that you're seeing so much growth, move more inland. We sold a ton of properties out there lately as well. Into Loris, Loris saw a slight decrease in sales year to date, 11.3% decline, went from 531 to 471. The great news though, prices up. Prices up 4.8%, from 165 to 173,200, and that's something that is interesting there as well. But that's just something you want to dig down to neighborhood, especially in Loris. I just sold a property that I bought, where I think I mentioned the show a while back. I bought a property from someone who wanted us to buy it out from them. I ended up fixing it up, doing some work to it, and there's a horse farm. A lot of acres, 17 plus acres, and it was interesting out there to kind of look at that part. We were able to get that sold, but definitely a great area that's growing like crazy right now that we have a lot of experience there as well. Into Little River. Little River saw a 2.6% increase in closed sales this year to date so far, which is awesome. The key number for Little River I was just noticing earlier, a 13.9% increase in prices. So nice jump there you're seeing. A lot has to do with inventory overall, and so it went from 215,900 to 246, and so that's great news overall as well. And so that's just one thing. Like even looking at inventory, you saw a 15% decrease in homes for sale last month alone in Little River. And so this is something you're seeing all across the board, which is obviously putting pressure on the prices. And so that's just something that's very interesting to look at as well. And so overall, marketplace looks great. I see a huge opportunity. I was teaching my team and talking about this past week about we have this window of opportunity for people to get homes sold, right? We're in that fall season. A lot of people, our team has been super busy with everyone from out of town coming in who likes to avoid the overall craziness and the busyness of summer. They're here to buy. And so you have a window between now and the holidays, right, to get your property sold with a lot less competition. I'm always one that likes to use data to my advantage, especially helping our clients. We can rip apart the average agent because we actually know what's going on and use that to craft our strategy to make sure that we can win. We call it reverse engineering to win. So anyone out there just want to know more than happy to help you. Free, no obligation. You can always go to blakesloan.com and get a free online evaluation. But more importantly, if you want a human evaluation, just some like really cool feedback about, hey man, you probably should sell, or maybe you want to wait to sell, reach out, call me in the office, 843-808-SOLD. We're super laid back from that standpoint. We just look to serve, give you the data that you want, and we know it'll come back to us in the long run.
All right, sounds good.
I guess we could go to interest rates.
Yeah,
huh?
I was just going to say, let's go ahead and do that too.
I was rolling, man. All right, so interest rates, very interesting. We've been all over the place the past couple months, and so part of that is overall looking at 3.79% this week. If you look at last couple weeks, we're at 3.62. Before that, 3.75. So it's been back and forth. The great news is we're still below 4%, which is still amazing for anybody out there that you're seeing. So right now, 30-year fixed, 3.79%. A 15-year fixed rate, 3.35%. An FHA loan right now, 3.35%, which is awesome. We talked about that in the show a little bit last week and how little you can get in with such a small down payment. And you can literally own for so much less than you can actually rent for right now. And so that's something that's super important there. Jumbo loan, 3.81%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage, which is they call it an ARM, right? 3.45%. And so bottom line is money's still super cheap. You're coming to this fall season, take advantage of it, right? We all thought they would never be back below 4%, much less this long.
Oh, yeah.
And so reach out to us if you want to know more. More than happy to walk you through that. And we might have some time at the end. We'll talk about those down payments and how much you really need down to buy something.
All right, we got a couple minutes left when we get back, and we want you to stick around because we have a lot of show we have yet to get to. If you want to get in touch with Blake, you can. His office is at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Coming up in just a minute, we'll have some great success stories and a whole lot more, whatever we can fit in for you. That's all part of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year.
I actually got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I went long here. Yeah, so that's fine. We'll just do the success, hot buyer and success stories.
Sounds good. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Stop hacking.
It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Time for your Hot Buyers Alert. Blake and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere from $150,000 to $3.5 million. If you're thinking of selling, please call Blake immediately at 843-808-SOLD. How many people are out there looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area? 54,694. That's not just a number I'm making up. That's the actual number of people who are on Blake's website right now with usernames and passwords actively looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area.
Yes, stalking right now. I mean, that's the real thing. Shout out to everybody right now. Tim Allen's on the site. He's from Washington, D.C., searching as we speak. We got Angel Somerville from Huntington, West Virginia. We got Sheila Gwynn from Greensboro, North Carolina. Catherine Kazea from Little River. Angelo Labro from Myrtle Beach. Long story short, we got people all over the place, which we spend massive amounts of money online driving traffic. Where's the first place people go to buy houses? Their phone and usually Google. That's where I spend the most money at because that's where the eyeballs are at, right? And so super simple. One big shout out to Donna Hodges from Brooklyn, New York. She's also listening. And so the reality is we have massive amounts of buyers that we're able to match up to our listings the very minute that we get listed. We heard a success story a couple weeks ago. We had one sold within 1 hour because we match it up to the buyer that we already had. We have technology that takes any new listing that we get, it reverse engineers the most likely buyer for that property based on their previous search patterns. And so we can literally laser focus on exact buyers, their percentage, the score that they have, and sell it because guess what? That's what we're hired to do. Not just put it aside in the yard and let it sit there. We're here to hustle and put buyer and seller together. That's what I feel that we're best at. And so how much time we got?
Yeah, a little over a minute.
All right, so quick success story I'm very proud of. Dave and Susan had a beautiful oceanfront home in North Myrtle Beach. Needed to sell it to move out west. They actually already found the house out west they wanted to buy, so they had to sell theirs and get top dollar to make that work. The cool part, Dave heard our success stories in the radio, called in. We came in, designed custom global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic, had it under contract, 90% of asking price within the first week. Now they can move on. Second, really quick, Jordan got a job transfer to Texas. He's already in Texas. Wife and children are already back here. They need to sell as quick as possible. Move the family out. Came in. We did global marketing blitz, professional photos. Launched it. Had multiple offers the first week under contract, right asking price. They can move on as a family all together without having to lose 6 months of time being apart because some agent didn't do their job.
Yeah, exactly. Success stories galore, and you only highlight a few a week.
Yeah,
you just go on
I always got another page here. We should do that one time.
That might be a show. That might be a show. Anyway, if you'd like to get in touch with Blake Sloan, you can right here in Myrtle Beach at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Again next week, Blake?
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
Absolutely. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell